Epstein victims' lawyers urge judges to order shutdown of the OJ Files website.
Meanwhile, there are more than 5,300 references to President Trump in the newest release of the Epstein files. That's according to a New York Times analysis showing that the references cover the president, his wife Melania, and Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. Many are news articles and publicly available material. None of the more than 3 million documents released over the weekend show direct communications between Trump and Epstein. The Justice Department says the focus of the Epstein files shouldn't be on Trump. Trump has denied any wrongdoing related to Epstein and hasn't been charged with any crime related to Epstein. Also, the Justice Department confirms it has taken down several thousand documents and media from among the files it released related to Epstein. According to court documents, U.S. attorneys say this includes nearly all of the material flagged by the late sex offender's victims, as well as a batch of files independently identified by the government. The move follows outcry from Epstein's victims who say the unredacted information in the released files have left nearly 100 survivors publicly exposed.
Lord Mandelson's involvement in Epstein files made UK PM apologise. Some said Starmer too is in trouble. Possible.
The PA news agency is now reporting that Peter Mandelson will resign as a peer of the realm. Peter Mandelson will cease to be Lord Mandelson.
Wow.
Like Sarah Ferguson, who called Epstein her brother, is off the charity list. Sarah Ferguson's charitable foundation, Sarah's Trust, is closing for the foreseeable future, as of early February 2026. Following renewed controversy regarding her past connection to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Multiple charities previously dropped her as patron in late 2025. The charity of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor's ex-wife Sarah Ferguson has announced it will close days after new revelations emerged about the former Duchess's friendship with paedophile financier Jeffrey Epstein. Sarah's Trust will close for the foreseeable future, after some months of discussion, a spokesman said. On Friday, more than 3 million documents were published by the U.S. Department of Justice relating to Epstein, appearing to reveal more about his contact with Andrew and Sarah. Like, son of Norway's crown princess is arrested on rape charges.
The Epstein scandal also affecting the Norwegian royal family, under the spotlight, under pressure like never before. This latest tranche of files that links the crown princess there in Norway, Mette Marit, to Jeffrey Epstein. And we also had this morning her son appearing in court in Oslo. He has pleaded not guilty to the charge of raping 4 women. Marius Borg Høiby is accused of 38 criminal offences. This is Norway's biggest trial for years. He is not himself a royal, but the scandal has shaken the family that raised him. His arrest on Sunday was the 4th time he'd been detained by police since August 2024, when he was accused of assaulting a woman he'd been having a relationship with. He's denied the most serious charges against him, but admitted some of the more minor ones. Despite the pressure the Norwegian royal family are under, Parliament there did vote overwhelmingly today in favour of maintaining the country's monarchy, rejecting a proposed change to a republic.
There's a lot of intrigue surrounding the release of the Epstein files, Martin Luther King files, John F. Kennedy files. Some current and former FBI agents are saying, some of them telling me, that they feel the FBI establishment came out ahead in the standoff sort of with the New York FBI field office over releasing the records, and your Attorney General Pam Bondi demanding them but not getting all that she wanted. Is that process still on track? I think that's one of the most often questions I've been asked the last couple of days, to release these records on Epstein, MLK, and JFK.
Well, Pam Bondi's done a phenomenal job in every respect, and there could have been some holdback. I haven't heard too much about it, but they could. But the bottom line is the records are getting out. The Kennedy records are getting out. Those are the ones they really wanted to see the most, were the Kennedys. And during my administration, as you know, I released a lot of them, but then a lot of people started coming in, people that I respected, people that worked for the administration, asked me not to release the rest. And I respected that. they gave me certain reasons, but I respected that. And I did say, I must tell you, I said that probably wish I did release the whole thing because I have no idea what's in there. But since then they found, and we found, 2,000 more documents on Kennedy. And
You are watching Sanglikar's Weekly. Like, Trump circulated a video showing the Obamas as monkeys. Racist. White House made it viral and withdrew the video after there was an outrage. जो बूंद से गई वो होठ से नहीं आती.
The White House has taken down a Truth Social video depicting former President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama as monkeys. The White House says a staffer erroneously made the post. It was up for 12 hours. Senator Tim Scott posted to X, quote, "Praying it was fake because it's the most racist thing I've seen out of this White House. The president should remove it." The video was mostly about vote counting technology before scrolling to an apparent AI-generated image of the Obama's faces photoshopped onto two monkeys, a racist trope. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says, quote, "This is from an internet meme video depicting President Trump as the king of the jungle and Democrats as characters from The Lion King." The clip from Trump's post is not from Disney's The Lion King, as the movie does not feature gorillas or orangutans. Barack Obama's former national security advisor denounced the video, calling Trump a, quote, "stain on American history." The White House has dismissed the video, calling the criticism, quote, "fake outrage."
Trump targets Cuban oil imports. Countries supplying Havana face tariffs.
February 2026. Cuba has 15 to 20 days of crude oil reserves remaining. After that, the lights go out. Permanently. Washington announces new tariffs targeting any country that sells oil to Cuba. Moscow pledges necessary support. Beijing condemns the economic siege. Mexico suspends commercial shipments while promising humanitarian aid. Meanwhile in Havana, the blackouts stretch 26 hours straight. Hospitals operate without medication, and food prices exceed monthly salaries by factors of 10. This isn't 1962, where superpowers negotiated over Cuba's head. This is 2026, where an island 90 miles from Miami becomes the testing ground for whether economic warfare can force regime change without invasion, and whether Russia and China will actually confront American dominance when the cost gets real.
Sanglikar's Weekly. Why is Donald Trump suddenly so obsessed with the U.S. having its own version of the India Gate? In a recent social media post, Trump praised India's beautiful triumphal arch, while boasting that the U.S. would soon have the greatest of all. What he is referring to, of course, is the U.S. getting its own version of a triumphal arch ahead of the nation's 251st anniversary next year. Trump, a fan of the neoclassical aesthetic, has always been obsessed with visions of grandeur and ideas of enduring legacy. For Trump, a U.S. president supposedly obsessed with making America great again, having tangible manifestations of this greatness, ideally with his name on them, is key. And so, it is unsurprising that Trump is rushing to build America's own version of the India Gate, a proposed structure his administration refers to as the Independence Arch. It is difficult to say if Trump appreciates the irony of using a monument mostly associated with imperialism to signify 250 years of America's independence from British rule. Regardless, Trump's Independence Arch will supposedly be the largest arch in the world with a price tag of several hundreds of millions of dollars. Whether Trump will have his name and likeness inscribed onto the monument remains to be seen.
Bangladesh is gearing up for elections next week. Could Bangladesh's Islamist party come to power?
Bangladesh is gearing up for elections next week, the first vote since the overthrow of Sheikh Hasina, and the country is now reckoning with the growth of an Islamist movement previously on the fringes of electoral politics. The Jamaat-e-Islami party is often criticized for its hardline views, particularly on women, but it's attempting to rebrand itself as a moderate political force and senses its biggest chance at gaining power in decades.
It's a dramatic turnaround for the Jamaat-e-Islami party. Hundreds of thousands of Bangladeshis have been showing up in Jamaat's political rallies. The fiery leader Shafiqur Rahman is promising an Islamic welfare state, a model that's a mix of religion and politics. And his views are resonating with many, including women.
সারা বিশ্বের বিস্ময়ের সেই নাম বুকের তাজা রক্তে মিটিয়েছি দাম আমার লাল সবুজের জন্ম পরিচয়ে আজ গৌরবের নতুন সূর্যোদয় লোভের আগে লজ্জা দুর্নীতির আগে দেশপ্রেম অবিচারের আগে সুবিচার কান্নার আগে হাসি আমার আগে আমরা আমাদের আগে দেশ ক্ষমতার আগে জনতা সবার আগে বাংলাদেশ
Like, there was an assassination bid on Russia's deputy intel chief in Moscow. Serious.
A deputy chief of Russian military intelligence has been shot and wounded in Moscow. Officials say Lieutenant General Vladimir Alexiev was attacked by an unidentified assailant. Alexiev has served as the first deputy head of Russia's military intelligence since 2011. Russia's foreign minister is blaming Ukraine for the attack, though it's unclear at this time who might be behind it.
Like, US-Iran talks, nuclear or oil, in Oman closed without any conclusion. Tension. Now,
The president, diplomacy is always his first option when it comes to dealing with countries all around the world, whether it's our allies or our adversaries. And so Special Envoy Witkoff and Jared Kushner will be traveling to Oman for those talks tomorrow, and we will see what comes of those. The president is standing by for an update from them. The president has obviously been quite clear in his demands of the Iranian regime. Zero nuclear capability is something he's been very explicit about, and he wants to see if a deal can be struck. And while these negotiations are taking place, I would remind the Iranian regime that the president has many options at his disposal, aside from diplomacy, as the commander-in-chief of the most powerful military.
Envoys from the United States and Iran have begun face-to-face talks in Oman in an effort to avert the threat of another conflict. It follows numerous threats by Donald Trump and a massive US build-up in the Gulf. Iran has insisted the talks will only address the nuclear issue and not US demands to discuss Iran's support for other armed groups in the region.
like, a suicide bomb blast in an Islamabad Shia mosque killed 31 others, injured 169. ISIS claimed responsibility. Homegrown terror.
Police officers in Pakistan's capital of Islamabad say at least 12 people have been killed in an explosion at a Shiite Muslim mosque during Friday prayers. At least 80 people have been injured in the bombing, which a police spokesperson says was carried out by a suicide bomber. Pakistan's Prime Minister has condemned the blast. No group has yet claimed responsibility. In the past, Shiite Muslims have been targeted by the Pakistani Taliban and the Islamic State groups.
Like, Elena Rybakina beats Aryna Sabalenka, and Alcaraz beats Djokovic, to become champs in Australia Open. Will 38-year-old Djokovic retire now?
Scissors it with an ace. Rybakina. Elena Rybakina. That's the one. 6-4, 4-6. The Australian Open champion.
Like in sports, India's U19 boys, led by Ayush Matre, thrashed England to lift U19 Cricket World Cup. Vibe of Suryavanshi was unstoppable.
today, he's been the difference. But the most successful team in the history of this tournament, if it is given to them because we're just checking the front foot, will now have their 6th title.
And finally, in 1983 Kapil Dev scored 175 runs against Zimbabwe in England, and now Vaibhav Suyavansha scored 175 runs against England in Zimbabwe.
14 वर्षीय वैभव सूर्यवंशी ने सिर्फ 80 गेंदों में 175 रनों की धुआंधार पारी खेली है। जी आपने सही सुना, अंडर 19 वर्ल्ड कप 2026 का फाइनल खेला जा रहा है भारत और इंग्लैंड के बीच में, और पहले बल्लेबाजी करते हुए वैभव ने बहुत सारी चीजें कर दी जो टीम इंडिया के दिग्गज युवराज सिंह, विराट कोहली और ईशान किशन जैसे बल्लेबाज नहीं कर पाए। उन्होंने वहां इतिहास रच दिया है, सबसे तेज शतक लगाने का रिकॉर्ड अपने नाम कर लिया है। उन्होंने 55 गेंदों में अपना शतक जड़ा, जहां उन्होंने 8 गगनचुंबी छक्के लगाए, 8 चौके लगाए, उसके बदौलत उन्होंने सेंचुरी पूरी की। इसके अलावा बात करें अगले 25 गेंदों की, तो उन्होंने अगले 25 गेंदों में 75 रन जोड़ दिए। इन टोटल उन्होंने टीम इंडिया के लिए 80 गेंदों में 175 रनों की तूफानी पारी खेली, जहां उनके पारी में 15 छक्के आए और 15 चौके आए। अब इन रिकॉर्ड्स के अलावा और रिकॉर्ड्स की बात करें तो एक और रिकॉर्ड वैभव सूर्यवंशी ने अपने नाम किया, वो था छक्के लगाने का। यानी एक सिंगल मैच में उन्होंने 15 से ज्यादा छक्के लगाने का रिकॉर्ड भी अपने नाम कर लिया है। इसके अलावा वैभव सूर्यवंशी जो है वो शानदार फॉर्म में तो है ही, उन्होंने यूथ ओडीआई मैचेस में भी सबसे ज्यादा रन बनाने का जो रिकॉर्ड विराट कोहली का नाम था वो भी उन्होंने अपने नाम कर लिया। यानी वहां उन्होंने विराट कोहली को भी पीछे छोड़ दिया। तो ये कहना गलत नहीं होगा कि वैभव सूर्यवंशी जो है वो टीम इंडिया के उभरते सितारे माने जा रहे हैं और वो एक फ्यूचर स्टार हो सकते हैं टीम इंडिया के लिए।
Namaste, Los Angeles. The 68th annual Grammy Awards were held at the Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles. The show was hosted by Trevor Noah, who helmed the Grammys for the 6th consecutive and final time. The Dalai Lama, 90, won his first Grammy for Best Audiobook, Narration and Storytelling Recording for Meditations.
These are the winners and losers of the 2026 Grammys, and some of them are unbelievable. It's hard to believe, but Sabrina with 6, Justin with 4, and Cat's Eye with 2 nominations all walked out empty-handed, and every time Sabrina lost, the camera zoomed in on her face and she had to show she was okay, just like Billie last year. But on the other hand, Bad Bunny won Album of the Year and became the first Spanish-language album ever to win Album of the Year. Also, Billie finally won Song of the Year with Wildflower, but Lady Gaga looked happier than Billie, and Billie had a Beyoncé-style reaction. And in the end, Ariana took 1 Grammy and Lady Gaga scored 2.
That is a Grammy that every artist wants, almost as much as Trump wants Greenland. Which makes sense, I mean, because Epstein's island is gone, he needs a new one to hang out with Bill Clinton.
A joke at the Grammys has triggered a meltdown at the White House. U.S. President Donald Trump is threatening legal action against comedian Trevor Noah after a joke linking him to Jeffrey Epstein's private island during the 2026 Grammy Awards. Trump has called the remark false and defamatory, slammed the Grammys as virtually unwatchable, and vowed to sue Noah, turning what was meant to be a punchline into a political firestorm.
You are watching Sanglikar's Weekly.
Lazy Bee. July 2nd, 2026.